Hello, everyone. My name is Terrell Huff, and this is the first episode of my YouTube channel, Act Accordingly. And this YouTube channel is basically a channel that I wanted to start because of something that I noticed as an aspiring actor that works in a smaller market. One of the things I noticed while going through YouTube on a regular basis was that I saw a lot of the perspective, or I saw a lot of videos from actors from the perspective of people that lived in LA or Atlanta or New York, which are probably the three biggest markets for film and television. But I didn't see very many videos that were from people that still live in small markets. That are either aspiring actors or working actors. And that was something that I've found to this day to be very, very frustrating. It's not a knock on YouTube, it's just that I've found that the working actors that live in these smaller markets, and they are out there, the working actors that live in these smaller markets, they just aren't, they either by choice or just don't have time to, or whatever it might be, their voice is not really prominent when it comes to YouTube or other forms of social media. So I felt like that was a void that someone needed to fill. I don't know that I would be the person that would completely and totally fill that void, but there really does need to be more voices from smaller market, I should say, or small market actors, because this idea that you have to move to somewhere like New York or LA or Atlanta or even a Chicago or Philadelphia or somewhere like that, it's not really true. You don't necessarily have to move to or live in those areas to be a successful working actor. A lot of it has to go along with what you consider to be a successful working actor. Some people think being in major films and things of that nature is considered successful, but many actors consider to be successful and be working actors. They consider that to be maybe working in local theater in a smaller town or city, or just maybe not New York or LA or Atlanta. Sometimes it's just commercial actors, like myself. I'm more or less a commercial actor, and there's a lot of work here in the San Antonio, Austin area, which is where I live. So I really just wanted to have my perspective be out there and get to a point where I start to see more faces and more actors like myself that really have a lot of advice for those people that do live in those smaller markets that are considering acting. Because the last thing I would want is for anyone to think that you have to move to these huge areas like Atlanta or LA or New York. No knock on those places, but you don't have to move to those places or live in those places initially when you start a journey of becoming an actor. You don't have to move to those places to get started. You can get started right where you are. Or maybe there's a slightly larger city nearby where you live if you live in a really small town. You can get started there, and work your resume and get yourself to a point where you've got credits to your name. And then maybe if you want to make that jump to that huge market and bigger and better things, that's understandable. But you don't have to just hop on a bus or a train or a plane and go to LA or New York to become a successful working actor. It's not necessary. So that's essentially what the basis of this channel is. It's about my perspective from someone that lives in the San Antonio and Austin area, the Central Texas area, and how there is work out there. There's plenty of work out there, and if you put in just as much hard work as anybody, you're going to be able to book jobs and you're going to be able to make a living as an actor in a smaller market, until you maybe decide you want to go to a larger market and become an even bigger actor. Maybe, I don't know. So just kind of to set some expectations about my channel and what it's going to be about and what I intend to do from one episode to the next. For one thing, I do want to be really active in the comment section. Hopefully there will be some subscribers that will have questions for me, because maybe they're in a similar situation. Maybe they live in a Cleveland or a Pittsburgh or Phoenix, Arizona, somewhere like that, where it's, there is the opportunity to become an actor, but maybe they don't know where to start or what to do. So I'll be answering lots of questions from people, anyone that may want to comment on my videos. I will be, and my favorite part of the channel will be kind of a play-by-play for me, as far as how the process goes when I get an audition, and if that audition turns into a callback, and if that callback turns into a booking, and booking being that I actually get the acting job. There'll be videos about that process, but I want to make sure that I'm able to kind of take people on a play-by-play, and you can kind of see what I go through and how that process works for me. Because that process is pretty much the same, everywhere. It doesn't matter if you're small market, large market, the audition / callback / booking of a job, that process is all pretty much the same, depending on how well you do on the initial audition. So I'll talk about that, and really just kind of take everyone on the journey along with me, as I, whether it's highs, whether it's lows. I want to kind of be able to just show the entire process. I think that's super important for especially young people. I'm 43 years old. As a matter of fact, well, I should take that back. I'll be 43 years old in about 23 minutes. But tomorrow's my birthday. But as someone that's older and I've kind of got more experience, I've been off and on. I've been acting for nearly 20 years now, since probably 2000. I've been an actor on the out west, and I've also been an actor here in San Antonio before, but only recently, in the last 7 or 8 months, 9 months, have I really started having a level of success, more so than I've had, in any of the other times that I've had an agent or, auditioned for parts, or attempted to be an actor. So, and I'll talk about that obviously too, my journey to the point that I'm at now. But there are a lot of young people out there that really are interested in becoming actors, whether they, were in theater in school, whether they're in theater now, whether they're in college, whatever it might be. There are people that are really interested in acting, production, filmmaking, screenwriting. There's just people that are really interested in this process and in this career field, and it is a career. And there needs to be more perspective out there than just, hey, I picked up all my stuff one day when I was 18 years old and moved out to LA and, jumped right in. That's a great story and all, but that's not typically how the process works. Most people do start out in a smaller market, and then, they pump up their resume and they get to a point where, it makes sense for them to move to those larger markets and try to make things happen. So I'm hopeful that this channel will really provide a perspective that will really help out people that are similar to my situation, where you live in a smaller area and you want to know what the process is like. So I intend to have quite a bit of content in regards to the processes that I go through, how I prepare, and just the overall inner workings, the terms that we use in this business, and just some of the things that you can expect. So this is the part where I tell you, please subscribe, and definitely hit the notifications, because although I won't have a set time for when my videos will come out, I definitely intend to have quite a bit of content out there, because like I said earlier, a lot of it's going to be more or less play by play. When I get an audition, I'll tell you exactly how I got it, where I got it from, how the process works, what I do, what I go through, and everything like that. So, and then again, as people comment on my videos, I'm certainly going to respond to those comments as much as humanly possible. If I can, if I have time to respond to all of them, I'll respond to all of them. So looking forward to the process right now, and I really, really think it's going to be a great outlet for me. And I really, really hope that these videos and this channel in general are going to be really helpful for some young person or many young people, or even people my age or older that are thinking about getting into acting, and kind of want to know what the process is like. So I'll keep this first video pretty short, but going forward, again, please subscribe, please hit the notifications, and I'm going to do everything I can to provide as much helpful content as I possibly can. All right? Well, y'all have a great evening, and see y'all soon.